Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's video, we're going to talk about all of these events going on with food production plants cannot be a coincidence. Guys, we're looking at nationwide food plants, fertilizer plants, plastic production plants catching on fire. Just like that. I mean, and then, they have excuses. A lot of them are still under investigation. The ones that happened earlier this year, like in January and February, I still didn't see any updates on what the actual finding was. And so with that, maybe it's still under investigation. Who knows? But still, guys, all of these fires and these plants shutting down last year and this year cannot be a coincidence. This year alone, guys, there have been 13 food production plants and or fertilizer plants that have had fires or have shut down unexpectedly. That's 13, and we're in April. We still got a bunch of months to go before the end of this year. So if anybody is saying that our food production or our food is not under attack, listen, guys, for all 13 of these, there could be very simple explanations, right? It could be just what it is. It could be a boiler exploding. It could be a conveyor belt overheating. It could be any one of those things. But the fact that there are 13 in a matter of 4 months is pretty odd, if you ask me. Now, here's the list, guys. I have to read off to you. Here's a list of all 13 plants that have been affected by either fire or, again, shut down. Now, the first one is Van Duren Farms, one of their plants in Illinois, which caught fire January 1st. They produce frozen food. Winston Weaver Company fertilizer plant, February 3rd, caught fire in North Carolina. They're a fertilizer plant. Shears Food Plant, February 22nd in Oregon. They produce potato chips and corn chips. They mostly serve the western half of the United States. Nestle Food Plant, March 16th in Arkansas, the Hot Pocket plant. So I guess this is a Nestle plant that just makes Hot Pockets or frozen foods. Congra Foods Incorporated, March 1st in Arkansas. They serve commercial food, and the commercial foods they serve are like Hunt's, Slim Jims, Duncan Hines, Orville Redenbacher, Hebrew National, Healthy Choice. You also have Conagra Brands, March 17th in Iowa, and then you have Conagra Brands, March 21st in Tennessee. Again, so the difference between brand and food, which are two divisions, if you will, Foods does Wishbone, Parkade, Crunch and Munch, Act 2, which is that microwavable popcorn, Banquet, Libby's, and Log Cabin syrup. So that's the difference between those two companies. Now, Pepsi plant, which again, Pepsi is not real food, but for those of you that love Mountain Dew, a Pepsi plant, March 22nd in Jersey, Piscataway, New Jersey, set fire as well. Western Sugar Cooperative, April 10th in Nebraska. That's a sugar plant, obviously, right? And Answorth Pet Nutrition, manufacturing plant, April 12th in Pennsylvania. Taylor Farms Package Salad Plant, April 13th in California. Azure Standard Headquarters, April 19th in Oregon. I'm going to explain a little more about the headquarters. And Nutrin AG Solutions, which is a fertilizer plant in Kansas, April 19th. Guys, all of this is not a coincidence. Now, the most recent one, the Azure headquarters fires, didn't affect the facilities, so they're still able to operate close to normal. The headquarter was a total loss, but not their manufacturing plant or site. The Azure facility that was affected was the Azure Market Oils, which makes honey, vinegar, oils, basically any Azure Market food product that's liquid based. So again, guys, not all of their facilities burnt down. One of it, which is the main headquarters, but that is a small fraction of some of the food that's being affected. Now, granted, again, guys, it's still lending to, we still have the rest of this year for more bullshit to happen with more of these food plants, but I find it interesting that a lot of this is happening to food plants so close together. Now, another pet food manufacturing company, which is, I was a little surprised by this, Land O'Lakes Incorporated, which runs their Purina animal division, will be shutting down their will be shutting down their mill in Sheldon, Iowa this summer, July 1st to be exact. So that's another pet food plant that's shutting down. But now this one's just shutting down because, I guess, a lack of workers. They really didn't get into why they're shutting down. But so now, if you have pets, guys, pet food is also being affected as well. So remember, there are two plants as of right now, one that's shutting down in July, one that had a fire, and pet food, especially if you buy that commercial shit, is going to be running thin. So I would suggest right now, guys, you start stocking up on pet food. Now, Western Sugar Cooperatives, guys, when you look this up, you're going to see two conflicting reports. You're going to see one report saying that there was major damage to the sugar plant, and then you're going to see one that says that it was minor damage. So there's conflicting reports with this. I don't know why. One will say there is a lot of damage, and one says there's minor. There are two different ball fields when you say major damage and minor. Minor damage is like one conveyor belt catching fire, and you can replace that. Major damage is like the whole wing of a building leaving. So there wasn't a lot of information on this sugar plant, if you will. So I tried to dive in as much as I could, and it didn't get me anywhere other than two conflicting reports. Now, two of the fires in the Congra food or brand service or company, if you will, two of the fires were minor, but one of the fires, I think that was the one in Arkansas, was pretty severe. Again, guys, it's interesting that with all of these problems we're having with food, with farmers not being able to plant what they're going to plant or planting less, with farmers not growing enough chickens, or now that chickens are being infected, they're killing a lot of them. Cows are not being produced as much, or rather not being grown or raised, if you will, as much, because the last 2 years there was less meat that needed to be ordered because restaurants are closed. And restaurants are closing because they can't keep up with the lack of people coming out to restaurants now. Even with everything open, guys, restaurants are still taking a hit because people just don't want to go out anymore. A lot of people develop this fucking anxiety. I don't know why, but develop this anxiety and staying home. So now restaurants are taking a hit, and restaurants here in the city are still closing down because people are not coming out to eat, even though the ban is lifted. Now, some of you might find this other one interesting. Pilgrim's Pride Poultry Processing Plant had 2 nights of several gas leaks in the facility. So they had to shut down the plant to figure out what was going on. Now, I don't know how you didn't figure it out the first night. When you call the fire department, they have their gas meters out, they're looking around, they're detecting shit, and that's what they do, and they're running around, and then they go, okay, it's all good, and then they leave. Then the next night they come back again, now with several leaks. That means you have somebody either poking holes in your fucking gas lines, or your building is starting to wear down, and maybe it's time for you to replace those lines. I don't know. But either or, guys, either way you look at it, too many of these incidents are happening back to back. And it's obvious at this point. I mean, listen, we believe in coincidences, and coincidences, guys, is anything, 1 and 2. 1 time, 2 time, oh man, that's a coincidence. 3, not so much. 4, 5, right? You run into somebody in the city, this big ass city called New York. You run into somebody once or twice, you're like, man, that's a coincidence. You start running into that person 3, 4, 5 times, you got to start making a connection. Why is this fucking guy always here now? Why am I always seeing him? Oh, okay, that's why he works over there, or his kid's in that school. So you start to make those connections. It's not a coincidence anymore. You know why it's happening. There's a reason for this happening. We all know what this reason is for all of these happening, but the rest of the world is just looking at it as such. They're reading it and go, oh, there was another fire in Arkansas. Oh, there was another fire in Tennessee. There's another food plant. And people are just brushing it off. So, guys, this is something to be aware of because we're only in April. Again, we have 13 plants that had fires. We have 1 poultry plant that had gas leaks that's shutting down for whatever reason. We have fertilizer plants that are catching fire as well. So farmers are not going to be able to grow food or get less fertilizer now that there's 2 plants that are down. So again, guys, with the mixture of fucking gas prices going up, the food problem is going to be astronomically bad. Now, at first, like I said before, a week ago, I didn't think it was going to get that bad for us. It seems like it's going to get that bad, especially if we stay on track with the amount of fires or mishaps happening at these food processing plants. With that, guys, shit's going to get a lot fucking real a lot faster. We're absolutely going to have to stay abreast to all of these plants going on fire. I'm going to put a link to a website I found that deals with, I guess, processing plants of all kinds, whether that's metal, food, plastic. I'm going to put the link in the description section below. Every now and again, you guys should take a look at it. Man, hell, even every day, take a look at it and see what's new. They give you updates on fires, gas leaks, collapses, things of that nature that happens to industrial plants around the country, here in the United States, that is. So take a look at that every morning when you wake up and see, oh shit, another place is burning down, or another place has a fucking mishap in their food production plant, right, guys? So again, I do believe in coincidences, but this is fucking way out of hand. And even after explaining this to the wife earlier today, she goes, there's no way this is these are accidents. Not this many this close together. All right, guys, so other than that, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.